Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to show you a foolproof way of understanding and hearing and playing and practicing the rhythm for the Chopin Fantasie-Impromptu, because the first third of the piece and the last third of the piece are all 4/3. I'll show you a bar of it. I have to move the mic over so that you can see what I'm doing, and I can explain what you see on the page. So this is the first page, and here's how it starts. It's in cut time, so that means there are two parts to the bar. This part over to here, and this part over to here. So every bar is like that. So even at the beginning, it's 1 and 2 and 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 1. Now each of those four, the 1, the and, the 2, the and, there's four units there, and each one of those is a 4/3. So it's 4 notes here. I'll take this part here, for example. These 4/16 against these 3/8 triplets notes. And that happens 4 times in the bar. 1 on the number, 1 on the and, 1 on the 2, 1 on the and, 1 and 2 and 1. And that you have to understand to begin with. Now, it's a matter of getting the 4 against the 3. And I'm just going to pull this back here now so that I can sit here and be heard on this microphone. It's hard to keep it all working together, but anyway, here we go. You have to hear that rhythm. You have to hear dum da da dum ba da every time, 4 times in every bar. When you can hear that, and it's a together, right, left, right, together, right, left, right, together, right, left, right, together, right, left, right. That's the rhythm. So you got to hear dum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum ba da every time, and in every bar. And so to hear that, if you can understand the percentages, you're going to understand the percentages for the right hand alone and the percentages for the left hand alone, and then superimpose them so that it's a sequence. You're going to know how long to be listening to each one of those notes when you're going. That's what we're trying to hear, because that has to happen 4 times in every bar for the first third of the piece and for the last third of the piece. And even when you go up. And then you have to know what notes play dead together. That's at the 1. So that's when they play together. So it happens 4 times in the bar that they play hands together, dead together. Otherwise it's right, left, right, left, right. And when you can know what notes to play and how long to listen to each one, how many percentage points in that 100% for that group of 4 or that group of 3, depending right hand or left hand, you're going to know the sequence of how long to hold between them. That's why it's not come, Tommy, jump to me. It's come, Tommy, jump to me. And you've got to see the mirror image within that group of 4. The first half unfolds backwards the same way as you went forward. So it's like going halfway and then coming back halfway in the other direction. It's a perfect mirror image. So if you can think of the right hand as 0, 25, 50, 75, up to 0 or 100. That's 25% for each note or each rest. It starts with a rest, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. It can't be, or anything like that. It can't be screwed up. You have to balance on the note for its full length. So if somebody were to lift you up with a chain and lower you down onto your fingertip on that key, that they take the chains away and you're just balanced there with a relaxed arm right from the behind your ears, the whole arm is dropped. You've flopped your arms up, throw them up, toss them up in the air and just let them flop in frustration, just. Now when you land, it's going to be on the tip of the finger. When they lower you onto that key, it's going to be onto the tip of the finger, and you've got to have a limpid wrist and be able to balance on that note. You've got to, the finger ends of the joint muscles have to be so strong that they can keep your balance. If you were a heavy person, I think of Raymond Burr when he got older, he got really, really heavy. You think of that heavy weight of that person who's standing on one foot and then moving over to the other foot and back to the other one. It's balance. And you have to be loose and be able to transfer the weight smoothly like that. But you have to balance for the full length of that 16th note or rest. It has to be a total, accurate amount of length of time that exists. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. If you can follow that, it's easy to keep the right hand smooth throughout the whole piece because that's what you're trying to hear. That's the melody. You're going to shape the end of the phrase a little and not maybe just spread it a wee bit or whatever you want to do, but just a little. And then breathe and then do the second one. And then when it does this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. Each balance. You have to have this freedom in the wrist, and you have to have the freedom in the elbow, and you have to have the rotation in your forearms, all loose to transfer the balance from one foot to the other, one finger pad to the next. That's 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. And the finger's just doing that little snap toward you to be able, if you're playing lightly, to be able to pick very close and right at the escapement level point, and just snap the finger as you dive through. And draw just the amount of silence you want or quietness you want. If you wanted it really light. If you want it heavier, you just lower more weight from the chain down to your feet in the keys. But you have to be able to walk the weight. And you have to do it evenly and steadily. Now the left is 3 in the bars, in the group of one quarter of the bar. So it's 1 and 1 and then if it was the whole bar, it's 4 of those. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 because the piece is in cut time. There's just the 1 and the 2, but there's the 1 and 2 and 1. That's 4. 1 and 2 and 1. And that's 4 times you get that triplet in the left, 4 times you get those 4/16ths in the right. So when you go to put it together, if you know that the left is happening at 0, 33 1/3, 66 2/3, 100. And if you know that the right is happening, if I play the rest, it's going to happen at 0, 25, 50%, 75%, 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. Now you got to be able to put them together. So if you can study, write it on a piece of paper on a pad, and see percentage-wise, even on a piece of graph paper, and see that the together is at 0. The right hand melody note comes in at 25%. The left is just holding that first note still because it doesn't play till 33 1/3%. So now you've got to study and figure out how far is it from 25 to 33 1/3. And so it's 8 1/3 percentages. So that's a big difference between 25 and 8. So if you say the words, like it's the rhythm is come, over to that together. Come. And so if you say the words come, Tommy, jump to me, come, up to come again, come, Tommy, jump to me, come. Then the right is going to be coming, there's nothing because it's a rest, but I'll play the rest. Come, Tommy, jump to me, come. So, look at the numbers, the words that come on the 0, the 25%, the 50, the 75%, and the 100. your 8. There's 8 1/3. Here's the 25. That's a fairly long time. But here's the Tommy. That's the short one. That's the 8 1/3. So, do you hear it? Tom. It's just 8 1/3. But now the next one has to get you from 33 1/3 up to 50 when the right hand plays its next note, and because it was 25 up to 50. So ask yourself how, and look at this graph paper and figure it out. How far is it from 33 1/3 up to 50? And it's going to be, what is it, 17 and 2/3, 33 1/3. 33, if it was 33, 34, 35, 40, 45, 50. So that would be 17. So 33 1/3 gets you to come, that's where you're at now. So now it's how long to wait till the 50. And just subtract it from 50 minus 8 1/3. And that's your answer. And so then, what's the next word? Come, Tommy. See, Tommy gets you from the 33 up to the, from the 25 up to the 33 1/3. That's the short one. Come, Tommy. Now, from the 33 up to the 50 is quite long. It's 17 point and 2/3, whatever it is. And then the next one is up to the 66 2/3, because you're going from 50 up to 66 2/3. So that's the long one again. See, and then it's reversed. It's exactly mirror opposite as you unfold to the end of the bar, of the 25% of the bar. So I hope that makes sense to you. It's mirrored by once you hear it, that is together, right, left, right, together, right, left, right, 4 times, then you've got it for the piece. Then when it comes to the middle section, that's still in cut time for this. Now it's 4/4 time. So you just go. From now you're going to be hearing it right all the time. It's straight here. It's 0, 25, 50, 0, 0, 0. I'm trying to put it when I don't have the music in front of me. It's just straight 16ths. But when you're doing it in all those other parts, it's 4 against 3, and it's to hear it dum, ba, 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 dum. And it's a pleasure to play it when you can know that you're hearing the rhythm right, because you've figured out the percentages. That's all I'm basically trying to say. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.